Hey guys, we're back doing chapter 9 and we're going to do the first section, 9.1, which is translations. The entire chapter talks about transformations, but each section specifically talks about a different type of transformation. Go ahead and figure out what is a transformation. Okay, a transformation, definition is shown, is an operation that moves or changes a geometric figure. So it really doesn't change the size, okay, or the shape. It's just shifting it somewhere, either on a graph or somewhere out in the real world. So we're going to be transforming things, okay? And today we're going to specifically talk about a translation, which some of you guys might remember back in your math days. We also learned this as a slide, because you're going to take each point, so maybe each corner of the triangle, and slide it all the same distance, okay, in the same direction. So that's what a transformation or translation is. Two other key words that we need to talk about are the pre-image, okay, with this term and before is called pre. So, I mean, this is what happens. This is the image that is before you take it and you translate it, or, you know, you transform your figure. Little caterpillar there, because now the image is our butterfly, okay? Because it is what happens, it's the new image where it ends up. Okay, a little bit of notation. Let's say that we have point A, okay, and we want to translate it and have a new image. Well, we can't both represent that point, the pre-image and the image is A, because we don't know where we started. We have to put a little apostrophe by our image, okay, and that is called prime. So anytime you see the apostrophe by the point, that means that's where it ends up. That's where it went. That's where we translated it from. So A to A prime. So make sure you're paying attention to notations there, especially on a graph. All right, Ms. Hurst is going to talk about coordinate notation.
So for coordinate notation, notice we have up here our ordered pair x, y. That's where we're starting. That is our pre-image. Okay? Now, we're going to translate this on the graph, and we're going to get to our new image by doing whatever it says in the parentheses. For instance, we're going to add something to the x value, we're going to add something to the y value, and those could be pluses or minuses, so just pay attention to what's happening. For example, if I want to know where 4, -7 ends up, this is my pre-image. After a translation following this rule, x, y goes to x minus 5, y minus 7. Well, the notation I'm going to use here is I'm going to take the original x, 4, and then I'm going to do this, minus 5. So that's what's happening to the x value. Then I'm going to take my original y, -7, and do what it tells me to do, minus 7. So my new image is at -1, -14. Okay, try one of these on your own. See if you can answer where this ordered pair -5, 3 ends up after a translation. Following the rule, x, y goes to x plus 7, y minus 9. Once you finish, go ahead and unpause, and we'll see if we get the right answer. The correct answer for this one is 2, -6.
All right, so let's go ahead and put this on a graph. Okay, so go ahead and pause it, and I give you a figure A, B, C, D, and there's the vertices. Go ahead and graph it and connect the dots, connect the points, and make sure you label it correctly. So, hopefully if you did it right, you should have this quadrilateral with the points A, B, C, and D. And this is going to be our image, so that's why we don't have any apostrophes yet. Now we're going to draw A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime after we use this translation rule. So since it's on a graph, we can really we'll start at A, okay? And since we're starting at A, it's going plus 5. So that means we're going to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then since it says minus 2 in the y direction, we're going down 2. Okay, so A prime ends up at that point there. Okay, and that point then is our point 1, 1. So that's where A prime ends up. Do the same for all of them. For B, C, and D, you just count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down 2. So B prime ends up there. Let's go with C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 2. C prime ends up here. And finally, D is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down 2, which is inside my little a, and this is D prime. Okay?
Now, on a quiz or a test, if you're going to be tasked with translating an image on a graph, you want to make sure you use that notation Ms. White talked about earlier. You have to have the labels, otherwise you just have random points on your graph. So make sure that A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime are there. Okay? Now what Ms. White is doing right now is counting to figure out ordered pairs, but remember on the last page, we could just plug it into the rule and see what we come up with, since you do have the original ordered pairs.
Okay, so I'm done graphing, I'm done doing my ordered pairs, so let's go ahead and you're going to take a turn, and we're going to translate. We're going to start with our original blue, our A, B, C, D, so don't translate the green. We're translating our image with your translation rule. So go ahead, pause it, and take a second right now to do this on your own. And hopefully yours will look something like this red one here. And as Mrs. Hurst was just saying about notation, if you notice, since this is our third image, we have double primes next to our points because we've now translated the blue quadrilateral twice. Okay? All right. It's taking a second to think.
Back.
There we go.
All right, so we're going to go backwards this time. We're going to take what's already graphed for us, already been translated, and figure out what happened. So first things first, let's figure out which image, or which shape rather I should use, is the pre-image. Where did we start? Well, the notation again, we've got an A here, we've got an A prime here. So which one came first? The one without the apostrophes came first. There's my pre-image, so that's where I want to start. Now, every rule starts with X, Y. So we know it's going to start at the original ordered pair. We got to figure out what happens to X and what happens to Y. So I'm going to count. Well, from this A to A prime, I'm going to go to the right or left first. In this case, I'm going right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. So that is X, and I'm adding 5 since I went to the right. So I can go ahead and fill in my rule, X plus 5. So what happened to the Y value? Well, it went up 1, 2, 3, 4 values. So that becomes Y plus 4. Since every point on my pre-image gets moved the exact same amount, I don't have to test this for any other things unless you are second guessing what you counted. But we're done with this example. See if you can do the next one on your paper by yourself. Okay, so hopefully you guys counted right. You started at the right image. This should be what you came up with. So again, this ABC is our pre-image. So this is where we need to start.
Great. All right.
Keep calm, translate on.
See you guys later.